I want to talk about having abundance in your life, but what's all that about having abundance where people are actually dying out there? So I don't want to sound insensitive, so what I want to do with start is by wishing my condolences to people who've lost loved ones. My thoughts are with you. I've had a couple of friends who've lost loved ones recently to the coronavirus, and my condolences are with you. Second is my thoughts are with the ones who are actually sick. There's hundreds of thousands of people around the world who are sick out there, and my thoughts are with you. And finally, to those people who have concerns in life. They've lost their jobs, they're worried about the next pay package, they're worried about the salaries, covering the rent, and they have financial worries. My thoughts are also with you. Now, I don't want to sound insensitive. Here's the thing. Times will pass. This soon shall pass. And I want to talk about those times. Frankly, I'm sick and tired of the doom and gloomers out there. I'm sick and tired of people listening to the news. They're doing the death count every single day. They're watching the news. I listen to somebody say, oh, do you know 50,000 people have died? Do you know tomorrow 53,000 people have died? I really believe we can only do things that serve us and people in our community. I can't change how many people are dying in Italy or how many people are getting sick in Spain. So my suggestion is, from today, cut out the noise. Don't get involved in things that don't serve you. Now, here's some facts. In 1939 to 1945, during the Second World War, 85 million people died. That's for 6 years, people didn't go out. There were total lockdown. They had fear of going out and being shot and bombed. Out of that 85 million people, 65 million people were civilians. But here's the thing, after 60, 70 years, humanity prospered. Businesses prospered. People have a desire for love and connection and growth. So humanity is not going to end. How many people I speak to and they turn around and say, oh, humanity is going to change. I listen to life coaches going on about how the humanity is going to be different from now onwards. It's not going to be different. We are going to benefit. We are going to learn from this. And here's one positive thing I take out from this experience is that years and years, over the last 3-4 years, we'll all be talking about borders and nationalism and walls. Now, we've never really, or big governments like US, have maybe, or Australia or Japan, haven't really thought about the environment. But over the last 5-6 weeks or 2 months, we've realized that when it comes to diseases and the environment, there are no borders, there are no walls. So I hope at the end of this, and this soon shall pass, and already things are getting better. Today we come to the office, which is a breath of fresh air. We're practicing social distancing, but as I'm speaking with you, there's people behind me making sign language, which is totally distracting. So if you can stop doing that, I'll really appreciate it. Thank you. So we're practicing social distancing, and we're doing our part to not to be able to catch the disease or actually spread it. So do what you can to protect yourself, your loved ones, and your people you're connecting with, but try to cut out the noise. I'm sick to death of motivational speakers. Every time I come online, there's a motivational speakers that I know who are not motivated. They're telling everybody to be motivated. They're in your face, getting excited. And I know deep down inside, they're not motivated. I'm sick to death of listening to people who wealth management, wealth gurus who don't have money, okay? Or life coaches who teach you and us how to be happy, but deep down inside, they're not happy. You know, it's a tough world out there. Now, I'll give you an example. In 1929 to 1933, 25%, in 4 years, during the Great Depression of the US, 25% of the American workforce were unemployed. In a matter of that's 4 years. In a matter of 5 weeks, 20% of the American workforce are unemployed, which is absolutely unheard of. The world was not ready for this. We live in very strange times. We live in very tough times. But isn't life tough? Isn't it hard? You know, nobody said life was easy. So here we go. For those of you who know me, know that I love my children more than anything else on the planet. I have 4 beautiful children, 3 boys and a girl, age 8, 12, and I've got 2 older children from my first marriage. Now, those who know me and know my children will actually say, wow, your kids are very balanced and they're successful in their own right. Aren't you lucky? You are so lucky to have children like them. You know what, Sherlock? I'm lucky that they're healthy, right? Luck has nothing to do with the fact that my children are balanced and successful. It involved years and years of hard work and dedication and tough love on myself, but my first wife, to make sure that they had total abundance. They heard what was good for them, and they had tough love in their life. And now it's serving them well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some tough love over the next few minutes or so. Now, if this talk lasts over 15 minutes or 20 minutes, we'll stop. If it's under 20 minutes, O'Day behind me or behind the camera has got 3 or 4 questions to ask me that you've been emailing forward to me, want to know some answers to. So I'm going to give you some tough love. Over the last 4 or 5 weeks, honest truth, if you haven't sat down, reevaluated your life and reevaluated your values, you've been totally wasting your life. But there's still time because things haven't gone quite back to normal yet. So sit down, reevaluate your values, reevaluate your life. Look at where you've been, look at where you are, look at where you want to go. I did the same, and I wrote down some of my values. One of my values I want to share with you is honesty. I actually only want to deal with people who are honest in my life, whether it's personal or business. So I reevaluated everything, and I started looking at people who weren't honest in my life, or I felt weren't honest with me, and I started making a checklist of who I wanted to be in my life or not. I like to think I'm humble, because in life I've lost things. I've had it, I've lost it, and God or universe has a power of humbling you and make you feel down to earth. I don't like arrogance, and I don't want people who are arrogant in my life. So again, I've eliminated a checklist of people who I felt weren't humble enough. I'm all about love, I'm all about passion, I'm all about emotions. I don't deal very well with people who are calculating or work from the mind, or they have an agenda or any other reason to do business with me apart from love and affection and joy and wanting the best for each other and mankind. So I made a list of people who I felt had those in my life and those who didn't. Respect is critical. I'm very respectful when it comes to business and dealing with others. And if I feel somebody else is not respectful or well-mannered back, again, I want to get them out of my life. Knowing your boundaries is as important as knowing your values. Clear communications is really, really good, because if you always have to wonder and worry about what the other person's thinking, if they are communicating with you correctly, what's their agenda, that relationship is not going to work. So I want people in my life who have clear and constant, honest communication. I have a great desire for learning. I believe as human beings go, as nature, human beings and natural beings, we have a desire to grow. So I don't want to be with somebody that I'm going to outgrow very quickly. I want somebody to grow with me in my life. Somebody who has a desire. I can sit down and talk about personal growth, spiritual growth, mindset, physical, everything. So it's critical to me that those people with the same values are in my life. I love change. As an entrepreneur, you have to welcome change. We've seen over the last 2 months, it's the survival of the people who are more flexible. If your business doesn't change through these times, you will fail. So I want to have people in my life who actually love change and embrace it and don't have a fear of change. Also hardworking. Because I've come from a poor background, all I know is hard work. And I want similar type of people in my life who don't have this feeling of the world owes me. They have to go out there and reach out and work hard. And once you work hard and earn it, you actually feel you've earned it more, you nurture it more, you enjoy it more, and you cherish everything that you get through your hard work. Fast, speed. I like to work fast. In my life, since the age of 3.5 years, I've had lots of people dear to me in my life I've lost. Maybe I've seen too much death that young people should never see. And I've noticed that life is really fragile. Life is really short. So why waste time? Why deal with people who have no urgency in their life? Because you're never guaranteed. I've already had a heart attack 10 years ago, so at a very young age of 40. And I know that there's no guarantee that it's going to be a tomorrow. So I want to deal with people who act now and don't procrastinate. Don't leave things to next week or tomorrow or next year, because there's no guarantee there will be one. Over the past few days, having a look at my values, I've actually parted with a number of beings in my life. Some friends and some close to me. Some of the friends that I've parted with are the ones that I felt that they were taking taking away my energy, taking away my wisdom, and they were never giving anything back. They were not enhancing me as a being. So I had to part with them. I made a list and I parted with some of my staff, which I felt they were not bringing value to my business. I was carrying them. I call them freeloaders, unfortunately. I looked at this time apart. I had time to think about who I was keeping, who was worth keeping, who I need to bring into our organization. So we're actually going through a recruitment process of better and more professional employees, at the same time parting with the ones who didn't grow, didn't bring any value to our business. So again, it's been a good time to reflect. Over the past week, I've fired 4 or 5 different types of clients as well. Now, people listening to me, the business owners will be thinking, is he crazy? Why is he sacking clients, good paying clients, when times are so hard and money hard to go by? Now, I'm so committed to my values and my boundaries. And when I recognize little areas where the clients are going to be conflicting with those values, I part with them. I'd like to share some of those examples with you, because they weren't really rude or really bad or really extreme. One of those clients I parted with was so rich that they didn't care. They were so rich that profitability didn't matter to them. So they're very laid back. Now, good on them, they're multi-billionaires, and I honor them, they're decent people. But here's the thing, I don't understand running a business at a loss. So I had to part with them, and we did in the best of ways. We just realized that we don't see eye to eye. But I'm glad that they moved on and I've parted with them. Another client, two clients that I parted with, that the ones who didn't deliver. They promised to call, they promised to email back, they promised to respond, and they don't do so. They make excuses for not doing so. So I parted with them, and they phoned me up and begged me to keep them, begged me to actually double the fee that I was charging to keep them, but it wasn't for me. Another client I parted with was a client that we looked after 8 years ago. This person kept phoning me every single year, year after year, asking more and more things, and they phoned me over the weekend, and I picked the call up over a Friday, answered the call, jumped all over the place. They said, it's urgent, I want this help. I called my team, we contacted the customer, and it took him 2 days to reply. It was urgent, it was a matter of life and death. We jumped, but he chose to sit back and do nothing. When I contacted him, he said, I just got busy. And I said to him that you're a decent person, but not the client that we're looking for, because if you want urgency and we jump for you, we expect the same urgency back. So I parted with him also. Another one that I parted with yesterday, who actually used Ramadan as an excuse. We have consultation sessions, and I said to him, we committed to this week. He goes, you know what, I'm going to be hungry, I'm going to be tired, I'm going to wake in the middle of the day, and use Ramadan as an excuse. And I nurture, I honor, and I value your service, but can we meet in a month? And what's he going to do? He's got 50, 60 staff sitting there waiting for him to wake up at midday, and I can't look in the mirror and have him as a client and just take his money. So I parted with him also. So here's the thing, if you don't want to help yourself, nobody can. If you don't want to help yourself, I can't help you. So don't waste your money with me or other consultants or other coaches. I hope as there's time, you're going to write your values and goals and your boundaries down over the next week or so. It's critical to where you want to go. From my experience, there's 3 reasons why people don't have abundance in their life. One of them is the fear. They have a fear of being criticized, the fear of being laughed at, fear of what people may think of them. And that comes often from childhood, being told that they're not good enough. Now, here's the thing, when you're in business, you're not there to make friends, you're there to deliver. Now, I don't care, and sometimes I do, but I don't care majority of the time what people think of me, as long as whether they like me or not, because I'm not here for a popularity contest. I'm here to deliver. Everybody in the marketplace who knows me knows Dariush delivers. Maybe they don't like my methods. Maybe they don't like the passion or the speed I do things. And so what? I deliver. People pay me, I excel expectations, and I over-deliver. And that's really, really important. There was a saying that when you share your thoughts, your feelings, your experiences with people, 80% of the people that you speak to don't give a damn. They just listen to you. They can be critical because they actually haven't done it themselves, right? So you actually highlight what the insecurities they have in their lives. So if you speak to 100 people, 80% of them don't give a damn. And the other 20% that you speak to are actually happy you're going through the problem, and the problem is not theirs. So don't bother listening to other people's feedback. It's irrelevant. Look within, look at your values, be a decent person, and do the best you can. Second reason, so we had first reason was fear of what other people think in criticism. The second one is that people don't have a compelling reason to make changes in their lives. What does that mean? They're too comfortable. Change is painful. No change, I can guarantee two things. Time will go by and change will happen. Most people are comfortable and they don't want to step outside their comfort zone. So I think the second reason is that they don't have goals. I have very clear goals, but often going to the gym is not a clear enough goal for 75% of the people to go to the gym after March. But having a fat body, being obese, having health issues can be actually a push away from that and a pull towards having a great body. And what you find is somebody knows what they don't want and what they want is actually a bigger motivator to achieve what they want in life. Now, for me, it's very simple because 10 years ago, I lost everything. I lost my health, I lost my family, I lost my money, to the point that I only had $700 in my pocket. And I live in a maid's room. And I live with that memory every single day of my life. And I make sure that that driving force, that I never go back to that place, drives me forward to have the best in life. Fly first class, eventually have my own boat, eventually have my own jet, have apartments all over the world, grow my company to a multi-billion-dollar business. But that's not enough. Knowing that I don't want to go back to where I was 10 years ago is a massive driving force. I don't live in the past because it's depressing, it's a low point of my life, but I do remember how bad it was. So what I urge you to do, fuck what people think about you, okay? Only care about yourself, right? Only think about your own internal dialogue. Stop the noise. Write your goals down. Write down what would life be if you don't make those changes, because time will go by, and I don't want you to have a life of regrets. I don't want you to have a life of wishes and wants and coulds and shoulds. That's critical. Third is, I call it the bathroom moment. During the day, we all have, we wear loads of hats. We are fathers, mothers, wives, husbands, business owners. So we have different egos and different parts that we play. There are moments in life, and I call it the bathroom moment, when everybody's in bed asleep. You close the bathroom cabinet and you have an honest dialogue. Look in the mirror and you have an honest dialogue with yourself. So I urge you to put the ego aside. Ego is a killer. It's amazing how many people I know who are not successful but pretend they are. They're in conflict. They're talking about, hey, this is how to earn money, but they can't cover the rent. They're in conflict. So put your ego aside. Have an honest conversation with yourself. So I'm going to share a story with you. I went to a wedding about 20 years ago, and it was a Jewish wedding, and the bride and the bridegroom came, and the bride's grandparents came on wheelchairs. Right next to me was a rabbi sitting, and he started talking to me for some reason. And he said, Dariush, I've seen people die in 3 different ways, and I want to share that with you. Would you be interested? I said, absolutely. He goes, some people die and they've had an amazing life, and these people will probably be gone in a few years. And those are the people I love and admire, and I'm happy for them because we all come and we all go. And these people will be surrounded by their family. They've all achieved their ultimate goals, and they're great kids, and they've been great human beings, and we bid them farewell, and I'm really happy for them when they die. The second people are in that there's so much pain. They have ailments, pain, cancer, diseases, and I'm really happy for them when they die because they're going to go from this world of pain and sorrow, and they're going to be released from that pain. But the third and the most painful death I've ever experienced is when I see people who are dying who've got regrets, who've got, I wish I'd done this, I wish I'd done that, I wish I hadn't done this, I wish I'd taken action. And for that moment, it just hit me in my heart that I don't want to have a life of regrets. I don't want to have a life of I wish and should-haves and could-haves. Okay, I'm going to put my ego aside, put the bullshit I tell everybody else aside, and just look in the mirror, have an honest conversation, and make those massive changes to have the most amazing and compelling and abundance life in love, in happiness, in wealth, and in friends. So, we have to remember life is tough. Life is not easy. We come alone. It's a hard fact. We come alone in this world and we leave alone, right? So who's in charge of your destiny? You are. You're the only person in charge of destiny. We can be a lot more powerful. We're having a powerful and a peer group that are in synergy with us, right? But you are alone. Stop blaming other people. Again, put your ego aside. Take full responsibility for your destiny. I did a post today. And it was a quote by Dalai Lama. And Dalai Lama said that, I'd like to share it with you if I may. And he says, I hope in the darkest days and focus in the brightest. I do not judge the universe. And I thought, wow, there's no better time to repeat this verse, this quote, as it is today. It is a tough market out there. Nobody's cheating you. You're going to have bad days. As a business owner, you may have had a fantastic business, but you had no choice when it got shut down by the government or by this disease. It is tough times. Hey, but you're a gladiator. Life is hard. Most of us are not born with a silver spoon in our mouth. Life is hard. Get out there, face the world, face the challenges. Message me if you have any questions. I'm here for you. I love you very, very much. And how long have you been?
It's been 22.
22 minutes. So are we going to ask some questions?
We can do a couple.
Okay, we can ask a couple of questions if you like. But here's the thing, guys. In the marketplace, you have to be a gladiator. And I want to always salute you gladiators, and wish you all the best of luck in the world and life. And my thoughts and love are with you. But stay as gladiators. You're not a sailing boat, you're a power boat. Shape your destiny. So, Uday, what's the first question?
The first question is about, I think it's very relevant here, the job, people who are looking for jobs. The question is, how can we find a job in this tough market and the lockdown?
Okay. So the question is, how can we find a job in the tough market like or lockdown? Here's the thing, people are reevaluating their businesses, they're cost cutting, okay? So they're looking at a percentage of the business that haven't been brought, like ourselves, haven't brought value to the organization, and unfortunately parting with them. At the same time, they are seeking people who can bring extra value for what they pay out. So they have a salary and they want to get 5 or 6 times that value back. So what I suggest is, look for the right organization who absolutely appreciates and respects you. Okay? At the same time, look at what you're going to bring on the table. Because if you go through hard times and say to the person, listen, I really appreciate you've been paying out these fees and you got frustrations, you've had to make redundancies. However, if you hire me, I can actually pay back for myself 5 or 6 times over in the first month or 2. Who's going to say no? If it was me, it'd be like this, I'll find a job. Because I'll go to a company and say, I'll work for you for free. Make yourself irreplaceable. I'll work for you for free and pay you what I'm worth. Make yourself irreplaceable. That's what I would say.
We actually have one question from Vishal. He's saying, his comment is, incredible as always, Dariush. What's your morning routine? Timings included.
Okay. It's tough. Because normally during my morning routine is, thank you Vishal for the compliment. Now, my morning routine is that when I'm at work, I tend to go to bed about 9:30, 10 o'clock, waking up at 5 in the morning. I really make it a goal of mine to beat the alarm clock. So I tend to wake up for some reason 4:55 and I beat the alarm clock. It's like a challenge I set myself. However, over the last few weeks, it's been difficult, it's been challenging, because you tend to go online and research things. I'm in the middle of the course and I stay up till 11 o'clock, but I've been waking up a little bit later. I'm not a morning person for exercise, because at my age, when I exercise, I just want to go to bed and sleep. So I wake up in the morning, I do a little bit of stretching, 5 minutes, 10 minutes yoga. I make myself a cup of tea or coffee, and I sit on my comfy couch overlooking the sea and I meditate for 10, 15 minutes. Then I get my daily action plan and I write my goals down. I tend to be at work at 7:30 every morning. I don't work till 6, 7, but whatever it takes I do. And then I take some my time in the afternoon. I try to take a power nap midday for about half an hour from 1 to 1:30. Again, it could be meditation, but you wake up as alive and full of energy as you would at 7 in the morning. Again, discipline. What I find in this region that people go to bed far too late and they don't get much sleep and they wake up far too late. So early to bed, early rise. That's what I do.
We have one last question. I'm actually going to put it out so everyone can see it. Sometimes I set goals and I don't do it. How can I overcome that?
Okay. Punish yourself. All right. So what happens is, it was incredible, Judith. The question is, how can I set goals and not be accountable when I actually don't deliver those goals? Punish yourself by beating yourself up. We're very good at beating ourselves up, right? But often we beat ourselves up internally for no reason at all. When we're a child and we're age 1.5 or 2 years old and we're just about to walk, everybody jumps on down, everybody celebrates the through. You take one step, you don't even walk. You take one step, you fall, and everybody celebrates. Somewhere along the way, when we become adults, we are walking, we are talking, we're running businesses, we become parents, we're running organizations, we're amazing friends, but not one single person congratulates you or celebrate. So one thing I would do, celebrate every time you achieve something, and punish yourself, and be very critical of yourself, and focus on all the things that you will not achieve in your life if you continue not delivering on your own promises. Finally, document your goals. A lot of people have goals in their mind. Now, if you have goals in your mind, they're dreams. And what happens, most dreams don't come reality. So what I do is every single day, I document those goals. Now, some of your goals will be like, I want to have $1 million by the end of the year. And you're not even covering rent. So the jump is too great. Now, exactly what I would do what Tiger Woods did. I start with the end goal in mind and I break it down into days and what I have to do every single day to achieve that ultimate goal. So when you do it on daily tasks, they say that the quickest point from A to B is a straight line. So I make loads of small changes and small movements, small straight lines to get me to the ultimate goal. But I break it down into 15-minute, half an hour, hourly action plans, and I don't negotiate. When it comes to managing my time, I have to manage people around me. So when staff come into my office and they say, how was your weekend? I send them out. I'm not being rude, but I'm actually coaching them to value my time. Time is the most precious commodity that you have. So my staff know when they come in, they have solutions, the laptops are on, the presentation is ready, and they keep the conversation to the point. So not that you have to train yourself to be very efficient, you have to train your people around you and your surroundings. Is that okay? Any more questions?
That would be the last one.
Done. I love you all. I see you next Monday, and I salute you, Gladiators. Thank you.